I have cervical cancer from an infection, human papillomavirus.
What we know is that if you look at all of the women who get an HPV infection, approximately 70% of those are going to clear that infection all by themselves within the first year. Now, by 3 years, you've got 10% of that original group of women that have HPV infections that are left. And
Who knew HPV could lead to certain cancers?
so approximately 5% of HPV infections are going to go into a precancerous lesion.
Who knew my risk for HPV would increase as I got older?
Amongst women with CIN3 lesions, so that's a little bit more severe than the other group, it takes 5 years for about 20% of them to become invasive carcinomas. That's a pretty slow process. It takes about 30 years for 40% of them to become invasive cervical carcinomas.
Who knew that there was something that could have helped protect me from HPV when I was 11 or 12, way before I would even be exposed to it?
Did you know, Mom? Dad?
After I started getting sick and we really started pressing them, saying we need to figure out what's wrong, they pretty much told us, do not come back.
Yeah. And how you could have a child that perfectly normal, walking, then she's on a walker, and then she's in a wheelchair. That's not normal. And she was stressed out. Yeah, and they tried to blame us that we were, that parents that pushed their children too hard because, she was telling them she was in newspaper and yearbook, and I'm like, no.
So basically you pushed your daughter so hard that she became crippled in a wheelchair?
Yeah, that's their claim. Yeah, that's their claim.
When people get sick, all sorts of things happen, but you just never imagine that half of your family is going to move 500 miles away or however long, 5 hours away in Kansas City.
I see you on social media fighting for your sister. I see the work that you're doing. You're amazing, and I do know how painful it is for siblings to see someone they love so much. And Hannah's in excruciating pain, and I've seen her videos.
She had seizures, bad headaches. She felt a trickling out of the area that they had done the spinal tap. And I says, then tell me why she cannot walk. She says, I don't know, we don't have a test for that. She says, you need to stop going to doctors because they've done everything, And I says, I want to know why my daughter can't walk. And she's like, we can't tell you that.
I was infected with HPV. Maybe my parents didn't know how widespread HPV is. While HPV clears up for most, that wasn't the case for me. Maybe they didn't know I would end up with cancer because of HPV. Maybe if they had known there was a vaccine to help protect me when I was 11 or 12, maybe my parents just didn't know.
All right, Mom? Dad?
I said, well, he had the HPV vaccine on February 1st, and they went, oh, well, we'll be reporting that to VARS. He's gonna start not being able to breathe pretty soon. It might be better if we intubate him. So this was immediately after they intubated him that first night, because the paralysis just went down, down, down after the first 4 to 5 days, where he was completely paralyzed from the neck down, had no movement at all. Little did we know we were going to lose all form of communication with him because he couldn't talk. Once you're intubated, you can't speak. So we were using the thumbs up, the thumbs down to say, are you okay, yes and no questions. But by the end of that week, he couldn't even move his thumb. So then we're like, now you have to use your eyebrows to say yes or no to us. Try to keep him comfortable. His temperature would rise and fall, he'd go from hot to cold easy, so therefore he had lots of different, he had gel pillows to hold him in the bed, but he also had ice packs or hot packs, and he'd go back and forth because of his temperature being not regulated very well. He doesn't complain. You're good, huh?
Yeah, I guess. So this noise that everybody's hearing right now is breathing apparatus. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, kind of does get a little annoying in a quiet room.
No one's annoyed. Everybody's just desperately sad for you.
Yeah,
They're
it
so
does
sorry.
because.
I'm just going to turn this around and you're going to see how many hearts are coming in for you. You're not going to believe it. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, check this out. Colton, check your hearts out. See that?
Yeah,
That's all for you.
sweet.
Yeah, everyone's loving you
Yeah.
and they're so sorry. So tell us from your point of view.
Well, it does suck, like, not being able to play sports anymore. Because I did do a lot of sports, and it was my favorite. But,
You were an awesome sportsman. We've just seen
Yeah.
photos of you.
yeah, now I have to sit on the sideline, just watch everybody. But getting used to it, so it's not as bad anymore. Yeah, it's about 15 pounds, so I always have to have someone with me to carry it, to get around.
It's a literal ball and chain for him because his right arm is completely paralyzed. His left arm only has minimal function now, and he's lucky he's regained his legs and his core strength. He was a complete quad for a whole month and a half. We've done some very rigorous therapy in order for him to be where he is today.